competency tree and can complete the information and submit the evaluation. To save time, I already filled out most of the information by some arbitrary data, and just to show you, I used the actual data for the first evaluation. I included all the 7 competencies that were already filled by Mr. Gia in the worksheet. I also added 2 competencies from the basically no group that he can apply. So we have 2 here. We can have all the rest 30 something that remaining. But for the purpose of demonstration, he can fill the information about the competencies that he's usually filled, like independent safety assessment, ISA, project management, and safety engineering, etc. I've already entered some information here, level 2, level 3, and here the system for now calculates it automatically, but it can be overridden because your assessment doesn't provide the formula, and everything depends on the discussion between the assessor and the employee. We have that option, but for now you also use the formula to estimate a level for the competency itself based on the levels assigned to sub-competencies. If a document required for one of these evaluations, for example, I go to the project management. Here we have project management. For example, for a project delivery, he assigned himself a level 3. So he has to provide some supporting documents. He chooses the document and then uploads it for this particular sub-competence. So now it's uploaded. If you want to check, you can just see if it's uploaded correctly, and that's the document that you uploaded, confirming the sub-competency of project delivery.
What about keeping comments, Mr. Tari?
Yes, I'm getting there. Now, if Mr. Gia wants to add another competency, apply for another competency, for example, project safety management that he doesn't have already, he can also choose this one and enter some information, upload the documents if necessary, and submit the request along with other competencies. Here we have 3 levels and 1 for lacking, which doesn't have that sub-competency. So I'm choosing level 3 for this one. And then he can put comments here on any of the goals. Any kind of comment, he can put it there and save it. So it will be fixed there by his name and with the date and time. Another feature is that you have information for each of these sub-competencies and competencies. Basically, these are the same information included in your spreadsheet. For example, for bid, no bid decision sub-competency of the project management, if you look there, it gives the guidelines and what's the requirement for level 1, what's the requirement for level 2, what's the requirement for level 3, and so on. Everything that was in your spreadsheet all have been transferred into the schema. Now, well, sometimes you may say it's a lot of information to fill in, and maybe not, employee may not have enough time to do it at one stage, so we can save it and go back, and another day come and continue. After he's done, he can submit the self-evaluation. Asks for confirmation, and we confirm. Now it's submitted. But now the assessor of assessing manager of Mr. Gia, when he goes to his browser and goes to the assessment page, sees that there is a role ready for assessment, and there is already one employee that submitted his evaluation. So if you click on it, you see the information of Mr. Gia here, and with all the information that he filled, plus the comments and everything that he puts in. He also has access to the documents that he uploaded. For example, we have uploaded a document for project delivery. So the document is here, and the assessor can view that document. So that's basically the process of submitting an evaluation and assessing. Of course, there will be discussions either in person or through the system, because if some of the documents are not satisfactory, or the grades are too high or too low, assessors have a few options. He can arbitrarily change those grades and then submit it, or can reopen it and send it back to the employee. Here we also have the option of saving for follow-up later, or we can save and accept it, save or reject it, or save and reopen it. Reopen basically is the case when there is some insufficient evidence, but the assessor is happy to send the evaluation back to the employee to complete and send it back. So when it's reopened, it's like it's never submitted. So the employee has to resubmit the evaluation.
What about
if they accept it, sorry?
Forcing a value if the assessor is in disagreement with the employee.
Yes. If you want, I can reopen it and then go back, and Mr. Gia can see that available on his evaluation page, and he has to submit it again.
No, I meant the assessor forcing a value.
Oh, yes. Well, for the value, he can override the values of some sub-competences here. For example, here, Mr. Joe chose level 2, assessor does not agree, so he says for level 1. Assessor may agree with the individual values of sub-competencies, but not with the resulting evaluation of the competency. He can simply force it to the value he wants. For example, 2 is not put here, so he can put it on 1. When it's on 1, well, it's below the benchmark value for this particular competency. And that's why oh, that's big. It's below the benchmark value of this competency, so that's why it's highlighted.
Okay, can we move on to the HR function, please?
Well, a couple of more points here. We also calculate the amount, a total amount. For now, it's a formula that we basically use whatever competency that's submitted and give them, all of them, equal weight to calculate that value, the final evaluation. But you can't change that to any. We can change that to any formula that you prefer. For now, you don't use any kind of aggregate score. You just have separate competency level for different competencies. But this structure allows us to have also an aggregate score. There's one more thing that I would like to show you here, and that's the PCDP, or Personal Competence Development Plan. Here, the assessor can add some notes here. For example, assessor thinks that this competency should be level 2 and gives instruction that how to achieve that. To do that, for now we use some form of hashtag system, but we have a plan to replace it with menu and more easy to use alternative. Here, assessor says, well, this particular competency needs to reach level 2. And to do that, it provides a roadmap or plan to follow and achieve that objective. Now that's for safety engineering competency. Now if we go to the Personal Competency Development Plan, we see all these scores here. Those are that are below the benchmark, also marked here. Those are that overridden by supervisor, they're also marked here. So you see everything, and this one, well, excuse me. There is a target level 2. One thing I forgot there, that you can provide the roadmap for sub-competencies only. For the competencies, you can only provide the target. So target is level 2. Then to achieve that target, each of the sub-competencies have their own target and have their own roadmap. That if you want, I can just briefly put one of them, take one of them. For example, for this one, I'll put a target of level 2. And put a roadmap of something. Now if I look at the you see,
Mr. Tari, I think we've run out of time for this part of the presentation. Thank you very much for this. Is there anything you want to conclude with?
Yes, just after everything is done, then the supervisor accepts this. So when it's accepted, there is no other employee, so it closes. Now all the employees have submitted their evaluation and finalized, so we can close this evaluation. After closing the evaluation, we can go to the HR page. Here we can see the trend of employees during all the evaluations. Only we have Mr. Jia here, and we can see all the trends of all the aim, the aggregate score, and all the competencies here. So G1 is project safety management, G2 is safety related, and so on. And here we have the graph that we can choose certain hide or show certain certain values. We also have column, same thing. It shows evaluation. Well, evaluation that we have here are all only 1 day apart each, but we have 5 evaluations, and you can see the trend in these evaluations. So if I just show you the different types of charts that we have here, there is only one chart that's different in purpose, and it compares these separate evaluations to each other. The other charts compare what actually shows the trend of certain competency over time. This one compares all aspects of one evaluation to the next one, and to other evaluations. So if you only want to compare 2 of them, or with the benchmark, here that's the evaluation of 20th, and that's the evaluation of 21st. So if you're familiar with spider chart, it shows you how each of the competencies have advanced or basically went lower. So that's about it here. Let me see. We also have the same PCDP report. Just quickly show you, it's practically the same thing. All the information you have there, we have here. You can change the period that you take the assessment. For example, if I take from 19 to 21, then you only have 3 evaluations in the period, and it reflects in all of our charts. Only 3 evaluations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tari. That was a very useful overview of how an individual evaluates himself using the Lloyds register workbook that we have designed in, and how his line manager evaluates and controls and agrees or disagrees with the individual staff scores. So I'd like to quickly ask Judy to give an overview of the training that we have for CASS. So she'll give us a quick run on the development of the training modules and some of the awareness modules for CASS. Judy, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ali. Do excuse my croaky voice this morning. I'm not sure what's happened.
It's a morning effect, madam.
I'm normally around at this time, so I don't know if it is, but never mind. The aim really is to produce a number of different resources for people using the system. As you can see in the screen, I hope you can see at the moment, there is, we're doing some Word documents that will have all of the materials, sorry, there we go. All of the processes broken down with glossaries of the icons used, with the hope that anyone can then go through that and use that as a reference manual if they get stuck. Some of the processes that we work through are step by step, using the multiple icons that Farid has actually built into the system. And so what I've done is to develop some charts that will take people through those systems quite easily with an explanation of what is actually happening at the time. These will be laminated and available within the paperwork documentation. For a lot of people, though, they want to be able to see a tutorial in place. So what we're doing is screencasting a number of the processes, or every one of the processes, which will be available on an index online and possibly built into the system, so that if you're stuck and you don't know how to move forward on it, then you can actually click and a pop-up will appear with one of these tutorials. I'm just going to, there may be a bit of a change in my audio as I'm just about to disconnect my microphone so I can use my computer microphone at this point. Can you still hear me, Ali?
Yes, we can still hear you.
Thank you. No.
Okay, go ahead. We can't hear the computer sounds.
You can't hear the computer sound?
No.
Okay. I tested it earlier on and it was working fine. Hang on a second.
Please explain what you're trying to do. You're trying to run an example of one of your training modules in video form.
Yeah. One of the difficulties is that obviously it's using the audio from the computer, and we're also using that, sharing that with the WebEx. So I'm going to just try again. Ali, can you please tell me if you can hear this?
No, there is no computer sound.
Okay, hang on a second.
Just show a few clips of this training module. That will do. Doesn't matter. There is no sound.
Okay. You can hear me. So the aim is to be able to take people through and focus them on the various icons that they need to be able to use and working through. This one is for confirming a role, allocating a role to your company area. And there will be, every single process will be identified in terms of tutorials like this. So this one is currently, this is tutorial number 2, adding a role to your company, and these are in process at the moment and will be available through Vimeo or built into the CASS portal.
Thank you very much, Judy. Is there any overview and conclusion you want to give about the training modules, that in what forms they're going to exist and when, roughly?
I'm hoping to have all these screencast tutorials ready for the end of next week.
Right.
You can understand some of these are very personalized, so I'm having to break them down into very generalized tutorials. And hopefully there will have been some face-to-face or one-to-one support as well to have taken people. These are really a backup so that people who have had a one-to-one may then be able to refer to these at a later stage to remind them of the processes.
Right. Thank you very much for that overview, Judy. So the idea here is that the system, given that it's a bit novel, is going to be supported by an extensive amount of training material. Some of it is designed for face-to-face training, and the rest is designed for individuals to go through training videos and appreciate or find the answers to the problems that they find. Thank you very much, Judy. I'd like to take charge of the screen now. And,
Okay.
Thank you. I'd like to quickly go through what we have done. Therefore, we have translated the Lloyds Register workbook into our CASS schema in the graphical system. You have seen how simple it is to use. I wouldn't exaggerate that people who have to get used to this system need a bit of training. So we have also shown what it takes to provide that training. Our system produces two types of reports. One is the PCDR, which is a personal competence development report. That is something that the individual employee gets. And then a PCDP, which is the development plan. That's an agreement between the line manager and the employee as to what actions they have to take to compensate for their shortcomings. So this is an answer to the record of what was, if I remember correctly, when we discussed it in Beijing, one of the issues raised by the auditors was lack of traceable record of what an individual has been evaluated as and what they are doing about it. Our system has got these reports built in, and naturally these can be even further customized towards the needs. We believe it's nearly there to be able to start. We can do some customization. At some stage, we can start thinking about going further than just evaluating people at 3 levels, because our system can accommodate any form of evaluation. Numerical evaluation, good, bad, average type evaluation, level 1, 2, 3 evaluation. It's possible to go beyond these 3 levels and hopefully try and get towards a score-based competency arrangement. That is also a feature of our system. Without major redesign, we can convert the workbook or future versions of competence models into that. Then we have talked about a plan which the system generates as a standard, and both line manager and employee have a copy of that. They can print that, and employee can use that as a roadmap for further development. So what we'll do for the time being is to look at the schema, discuss it with yourself, ladies in Beijing, Ivy and Yvonne, and decide what else you want built into this schema. Do you want a complete schema built in as an example for piloting? We can possibly also discuss how to roll that out, how to train a number of staff in using this. My suggestion is probably 2 to 3 members of staff for a short while to pilot and get used to this with a bit of online training like our presentation. It would probably take a couple of hours to take people through the online training. And we believe once we've gone through all of those, we'll be in a position to hopefully roll it out, give it a go, and see the real benefits that there is not much paperwork involved. There is no big Excel files to be exchanged between user and the line manager, and have the file management issue and confidentiality and lots of personal data issue, which are all critical. Our system is a secure system. Every information is kept there. So we have many advantages over the existing Excel-based system, with the addition that we have also the potential to transfer the existing assessment regime towards a far more sophisticated regime without a major re-engineering if we chose to go that way. So overall, I think there is a significant potential with the demonstration that we have given that our system can cope and do far more than the Excel-based assessment. As you can imagine, everything being web-based, you don't need to send files back to London for other people to have a look at. People with the right levels of access can more or less access any employee's record, and we can also build in statistical overview of all the employees in the HR section, in terms of how many people have done the evaluation, how many people are rating, what is the average score, is there progress in the company, that kind of thing. So overall, in conclusion, we believe our CASS system is far superior, more up-to-date and modern, and extremely more convenient form of implementing the existing LRA regime for competence. And it also offers the potential to take this competence regime, not only compensate for shortcomings of the workbook and Excel-based system, it also offers the transition to a far more advanced and sophisticated version of competence, like the example that I have shown you. I'd like to now listen to any comments you have, ladies, either now or via email, in terms of what you think of what you have seen so far, and where do you think we need to take it to. So Ivy and Yvonne, please, a few comments from yourself.
Hi, Ali.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
We have some questions.
Please.
And first one is how is some personal staff they will set up their role in the system and select the team which they included in it?
If we go back to the team level, the only stuff in a team is name of the roles. We don't keep any private stuff from individuals. We just keep the main roles here.
Mm.
If I may, the only personal information is name, first name, last name, and the company email. Actually, the company email, if you have a standard template for that, system automatically generates that email address. So that's basically all the information stored on the system regarding employees. If you want, we can also add photos, but that's optional. And one more thing I'd like to add, regarding the transition to this system. If you look at the schema that we designed, it designed specifically to reflect exactly what you're doing. So basically, when you want to roll this out in your organization, employees feel comfortable with it because they're already familiar with all the terminology, all the competencies, everything there is exactly the same as what's in a spreadsheet, but it's much easier to use, and for the assessors or line managers, it's much easier to manage these assessments, and you also get the benefit of having these trend reports and statistical reports. So basically, out of the box, it makes the transition very easy for you. But on the plus side, as Mr. Sami mentioned, it opens the door to a whole new world of possibilities. That when you actually get comfortable with the new system, then you may want to move forward and explore and use some of its more advanced features and benefit from, there are a lot you can do with this system, and the assessment and the score you get as you go along, you can tune these schemas and make them more accurate. So basically, you're reducing the human intervention, because as I looked into your spreadsheet, it's all based on assessors or line managers, personal opinion and discussions and everything. So apart from being subjective, it also involves a lot of resources to be to be spent on this assessment and on these evaluations, and that's, I guess, why you can do it only once in a year. But when it's automated, and when the assessment part, as much as possible, got automated, then your personnel, your line managers can easily arrange for evaluations, maybe even monthly. So you get a better, up-to-date scope of your employees and the level of competence at basically on at the end of every month. And it has, you know, they say information is the new commodity. And when you have all this information about your organization, then that's your organization that's going to benefit from it.
Thank you, Mr. Tari. Yvonne, any more questions, please?